welcome to Beverly's. My name's Sherry, and today I'm going to show you how to make this fabric covered canvas. The first thing that you'll want to do is choose your fabric. The fabric that I chose today also had two panels on either side of it that I can use for another project. Be sure to look at beverlys.com in the how-tos for those projects coming up as well. Then you want to choose your canvas. Make sure that your canvas is just the right size. You want to have enough space on the back for your fabric to wrap around the sides and to be secured nicely in the back of it. Also, you're going to need some supplies. Some of the materials that you might use would be embroidery floss or craft floss, ribbons, lace, trims. Look in your notions basket at home and see what you have. You might like to use some rhinestones. You like to use some buttons, some petaloo flowers, and some scribbles or stickles that add a little glitz or a little more paint with a dimensional effect as well. You're also going to be needing an iron, fabric tack glue, a double-sided tape, and I'm using a 3/4 inch double-sided tape today. You would like to have a duct tape for the back to secure the fabric to the back of the canvas frame. Scissors, of course. You'll want hangers if you're using a larger size canvas, and to that you'll attach your ribbon to hang it. And if you'd like to do any stitching prior to stretching the canvas, you can use a needle and your embroidery floss or craft floss. The first thing that you're going to do is press your fabric. I've already done that, but before we start working on our exact project, let's look at the one that I've already completed. Look at all of the areas that I've embellished. I've added petaloo flowers and little rhinestones, some French knots out of the embroidery floss on the flowers, a small bit of gold trim around the clock, used a little bit of the stickles to add a highlight of gold, used another bit of stickles right here as black around this hanging sign, and added some petaloos with a bit of the scribbles paints. Up in the leaf, I've added a little bit more of the scribbles, as well as some decorative trims, stickles for a little highlight in the lights, some rhinestones, some lace, some pearls, a little bit of ribbon with some rhinestones, another little bit of ribbon with some stickles to add a bit of glitz, a petaloo, a bow that's been added on, another petaloo, some rhinestones, buttons, some hand stitching. Your opportunities are endless. Every piece of fabric speaks to you a little differently. So that's the first thing you want to do, is look carefully at your fabric and ask yourself some questions. How can I embellish this fabric? What can I do to give it a little more character? Where do I notice that a little bit of this or a little bit of that will make it a little bit more interesting? How can you make it three-dimensional? You want to do all of your sewing before you start your gluing. And the way to do that is a straight sewing stitch, or to do a little French knot. You can use an embroidery hoop if you like, but you don't have to if you don't have one. Thread your needle, put a knot in it, sew it double, reach it up from the behind, the back of the fabric, through the fabric, tie a knot close to the fabric, holding it tight with your finger, pulling it, and sewing back down, one stitch to the side and up again. And you'll continue that till you have all of your fabric stitched in a way that you like. After you do that and you have all your sewing done, then you want to be able to add your glues and your stickles and your glitzes. So don't put anything messy on it that needs drying until you're done with the stitching that you want to use first. So you want to make sure everything's totally dry, then you'll add your stickles and you will begin the process. Stitching, gluing, stickles, scribbles, rhinestones, petaloos, and when your fabric is completely decorated and dry, you're going to turn it over. And now, once it's completely done, you're going to get your canvas and turn it upside down on top of your fabric. You're going to add your double-sided tape to the wood close to the edge so that the fabric can fold over. This is tape sometimes that we use with paper crafting, but you just lay the tape down and then push it tight so it sticks to the wood, and then peel it off. Once you peel it off, you have a nice adhesive surface there. So you're going to do that all the way around your canvas, and then pulling from one side and then the other, you're going to stretch your fabric from the middle, and then you'll stretch it on the middle of the other side. Doing both sides, you can lift it back up and stretch it again till you have it nice and tight. If you have a staple gun, feel free to use that, but not everybody has a staple gun, so we're doing it without. And you can see how nicely it holds it. And you want to center your fabric so it's even on all sides as you're stretching it. Once you get the stretching done all the way around, we're going to add the duct tape. Before we add our duct tape, we're going to finish mitering the corners. We've pulled all of our fabric edges in, and now we're just working with the corners. To do that, you want to take your 3/4 inch double-sided tape once again, tear a small piece, and put it in each of the corners underneath the fabric close to the edge of the canvas. Stick it down, peel off the backing of it so that you've got the nice adhesive surface stuck to your canvas. And do that on both sides, so where your fabric folds over, it'll have a little extra adhesion there. It's going to make a nice smooth fold and a crease on the edge. Peel off those papers, pull your fabric edge back again. See how nicely that sticks? Pulling it back. Then you're going to put your corners together, and you're going to pull it a little taut, taking your scissors and cutting a flat mitered edge straight down against the canvas. And they'll fit nice together till you get almost to the end, and then you want to cut straight down so you just have that little edge that you're going to fold over. Once you get that edges so they're laying down flat in your mitered corner, you want to take another piece of your double-sided tape, cutting a point in the end of it, a nice little point so it lays down flat into the corner. Stick it down on your fabric and then peel that top layer off once again. Once that top layer is peeled off, you have your adhesive on the fabric. You're going to take your corner that's left, make a little tube, folding it in half and giving it a nice finished edge, and pull that straight down over the fabric. And that's what's going to be covered. I've done that once. We'll do it twice on this piece. We have it on another corner, and the last corner we need to add, and then we'll be ready for trimming and the duct tape. Trim your edge, make the little points so it lays down flat against that corner. Peel it off once again. You're going to do this 4 times in every corner. Folding it, folding the rough ends in, folding it down flat, and then we're going to trim those little edges off so it looks nice and neat once our duct tape is applied. I'm using white duct tape today, but I suggest you use a duct tape that comes in a color that will look well with your fabric. Duct tape's available in all different patterns. This is a white duct tape that we're using. You're going to put it all the way to your edge, on all 4 edges, smooth it down flat, cut the edge, right before the end of the fabric. Do it again so all the corners are meeting up, and it gives you a nice cover on top of that fabric that you've just trimmed. And then you'll notice once you get all 4 of your corners done on all of the wooden pieces on the back of your canvas, that you have a little extra bit that's hanging right here over the canvas. That you cut a little diagonal slit in it once your edges are on, and fold it down snugly right over the wood. Where your bar is, you'll need to make a couple of little slits so that can fold down nicely as well. Just a couple of little slits. It will hang out over the top of that and then fold down underneath it. If you're using a large canvas like we are today, make sure that you get some of the hangers that you could attach, measuring from both sides the same distance, and then you're going to be tying that with a decorative ribbon. Just tie it in a good square knot, measure it so it doesn't go up above your frame, across with just a little bit of give in the middle, maybe 1 to 2 inches. And when you're done with that, your canvas back will look like this, ready for hanging or giving as a gift. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed making your fabric covered canvas.